why did you want to make a social media for your cats?
I can start there. My partner actually is the one who got me into doing it. He's a professional extreme athlete who also does a lot of things on social media. And yeah, so he started the TikTok account for me and he goes, "You're gonna love it. It'll be great." And I was actually pretty shaky to start and I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I loved taking photos and videos of my cats. And it became more and more fun taking those videos and posting them on there. And then more and more people coming on and liking them. I kind of got addicted to it. And that's how it started.
So my cat is my entire life. I love him to pieces. I also love making videos and taking pictures. I actually went to school for film. So that's like my thing. Also, I kind of wanted to try to make it a career because 9 to 5 is not for me. I'm not built for that. I can't do it. I tried. And so like having access to social media and having the opportunity to use these platforms and to, showcase my cat and everything that he does and everything that we do together. Like it's been really great just having that and being able to build something from it.
Perfect. Thank you both so much. So I'm going to ask a second follow-up question there for you folks. What's your favorite part? And you both kind of touched this on this already, but what's your favorite part about having a social media for your cats?
Just being able to share them with everyone. It's wonderful. Like obviously they don't get to play with them and feel their love and all that, but they feel like they do. And I get messages from people constantly thanking me for sharing them with them and that they make them think of cats that have passed on for them. And it's a really beautiful community that has been built up. And yeah, like I said, I'm obsessed with it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of said this already, but my favorite part is just getting to do what I love for work. And like when people ask me what I do for work, I'm like, I make cat videos for a living. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I can't complain. I mean, that being said, it's not easy, but it's amazing.
Thank you so much, both. Okay, so now we're going to get into the I guess technical questions about having an Instagram or TikTok. So how do you reach people and gain new followers? Do you have a strategy? What do you do to do so?
I can go first. So it's easier now. The more you grow, the easier it is, right? You don't have to follow kind of the rules. But to start out, it's posting constantly, pretty much. Just constantly posting, making sure, like, I just have a good iPhone with a good camera on it. So if you're looking at upgrading your phone, look for one with a really good camera. So you have good quality, and then follow trends. And a lot of time it's music. So I do a lot of reels and I will make them on TikTok, but lots of times, like I have other apps that I use too, but lots of times I'll make them on TikTok, use a song that's trending on there and use a completely different song on my Instagram because that song may be trending on Instagram. And the songs that are trending or the ones that are recommended to you are usually the ones that they will push out to the front. More people will see it, more people will follow.
I think it's also important to be authentic, obviously, and to find a niche, like what is your thing? What do you specialize in? And honestly, the more specific, the better. And that's kind of how, just finding what you're good at and knowing how to provide value in that area to people. That's how you'll find your audience, because if you try to reach everybody, you're going to end up reaching nobody. So I think that's one of my biggest tips.
That is a great point, Holly, and I'm gonna push it a little bit more. So, can you explain what exactly a niche is? Like, what is the niche that you have right now? Is it important to have, and how do you develop it?
So a niche is just like a specialized area, something specific that you are good at. And basically, sorry. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like experimenting in the beginning is really important to find that, because sometimes it's really hard to like just come up with, what's my thing? What am I good at? Because a lot of us have a lot of different passions, a lot of areas of interest. And, some people try to combine it all into one, which usually doesn't work at all unless they kind of go hand in hand. So just coming up with just posting and experimenting in different areas and seeing, what resonates with your audience, what do you like to do, what are you good at, what do people get the most from you, what kind of value are you able to give people?
That's really good. Chelsea, did you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I agree fully. Everything from being authentic, being completely yourself. We're very quirky, and and my family's a little quirky, and we're just us, and being yourself and traveling around, and your niche just kind of falls into place, right? You just be authentic, be who you are, share that, and it'll resonate.
Perfect. So I have a few really good questions in the chat, actually. So one of them is from Katie. And that question is, how do you balance connecting personally on social media with your own personal privacy? I think that's a really, really good question.
That is a good question. Because right now I'm actually working on, I want to share more. It's not just about the Cats for Our account, it's our family. It's, we showcase the cat friendly resorts, but it's not just because of the cats, it's everything they offer for the entire family. But I do have rules. I don't share my children's names. I don't share, the exact location of where we live. And I just have those rules for my own family. But that is a very good question on how much to share. Even like I'll share everything with the cats. Like we're going through, Fig just got diagnosed with, oops, sorry, baby, her hip is she might need surgery in a few months. We're trying to work on it, and I'm sharing that sort of stuff. But maybe if I needed surgery, coming up, I'm not really sure about sharing that. So that's a good question that I'm still working on myself.
I try to just post anything that's relevant to my niche and has to do with my cat. I try to make it more about him than me. And I also have a personal life, outside of social media. I do like dancing, and I was on a dance team, and like some people knew about that, but they would ask me, oh, like who do you dance for? What team are you on? And I won't say, because just privacy, and like I don't want someone finding me and stalking me like at a game or something, So yeah, just knowing like where to draw the line and how to keep things separate. That's really gonna help.
Yeah, thank you both for those answers. I think that those are great answers, and knowing what your boundaries are and knowing, what to share and what not to share. So another really great question from Katia here, or Katia, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but can you speak about sponsors? How do you get them, and how do you create a media sheet, etc.? Or what is a media sheet actually?
Okay, I'll go first again on this one too. So it's, I'm just kind of starting out in this as well. For connecting with sponsors, a lot of times they will connect with me first. But I have reached out to companies myself. It's tough. You need to know your worth. you need to be confident in yourself. And when you're reaching out to these companies, you know, make sure that they will resonate well with your followers. And that's the balance that I find is if say there's like, I work with Trupanion Insurance, and I actually reached out to them, and I believe in insurance and Trupanion very much. So it was a very good connection. So that's pretty much my advice is if you want to work with companies and you're just starting out and you're reaching out, make sure that it's not just like, oh, that furniture store I really like, I want their couch, you know, make sure that it's something that will benefit your followers as well, benefits, and that you believe in. That's everything that I've ever promoted or a company that I've worked in with. I believe in that company and I want my followers to know about them.
I do the same thing. I make sure, like, I mean, I get offers from different brands that have nothing to do with my niche at all, like makeup companies or whatever. I was like, well, you know, that'd be really nice, but like, you know, it's not going to help anything. It's not, my followers are not, it's going to like alienate them. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, I'm following you for cat content. So, you know, I have to turn those down. I don't really have like a media sheet, but I do believe that influence comes before income. And if you are able to grow your account and get a lot of followers, that's really going to help you get noticed by brands, and they will end up reaching out to you. And that's kind of what happened to me.
Those are really great questions. Answers. No, those were also great questions, but those were great answers. So I'm gonna flip it a little bit because I have a really good question here from Louise, and we touched upon it earlier, where you use an iPhone, for example. But do you have any other special equipment to get video? Like you use lighting? What do you use for your photos to make it super crisp?
So for photos, I actually just use Lightroom, and I have the good quality camera phone. But I'm just learning how to use right now a handheld gimbal, and I'm working on that to get smoother content. I'm in the process of learning how to do proper, my partner's showing me how to do proper video editing, but I use OneShot, the app OneShot, and TikTok a lot of times for video editing. So you do not have to make it harder than it is to start. When you start going up and start doing YouTube videos and stuff like that, yeah, you might need a little bit, more high tech sort of equipment, but a phone, like I said, InShot, you utilize TikTok. It's a very easy video editing platform. And then you can start bringing in the other toys like the gimbals and learning some more.
Gimbals are fun. I have one too. But I agree. You don't really need any fancy equipment. I don't have any cameras. I just use my phone. And I think that honestly, lighting is more important than the camera itself, because the more lighting you have and the more, if it's good quality lighting, like it's going to show, through the video or photo or whatever. Hi, my cat just walked in. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, since I went to school for film, I do video editing too. I use Premiere sometimes, but for like TikTok, I just use like iMovie on my phone, and it's just like easier, everything's at your fingertips. I also use Lightroom sometimes, or Photoshop for, if I want like something, if I want to work on some details of a picture. But yeah, that's basically it. I think that iPhones work great, and lighting is very important.
Great tips. So big thing there is you don't really need any fancy cameras, but lighting, very, very, very important. So actually working into the video editing, I know that some folks kind of struggle with this, but what are your tips and tricks when it comes to the built-in editors or any video editing app actually? I can throw it over to you, Holly.
Are there like looking for any specific like tips or anything?
I think it's just general tips.
I don't know. I feel like I'd have to think about that if Chelsea wants to take over.
I'm over here shrugging my shoulder. It's like I said, it goes back to not making it harder than it needs to be. I have fun with it. Everything is fun and it doesn't feel like work. So, I take a lot of B-roll is what I call it. I take shots of everything. And lots of times I will have those 35 clips up in my TikTok and I'll go through each one and play around with it. Do not make it harder than it needs to be. Just have fun. Take a lot of video of everything and put it together, and it'll work.
B-roll is really important. Like you said, especially for like YouTube, if you wanted to end up doing YouTube and, it's like any long form content where you're like talking a lot or explaining something, it's really good to have a lot of visuals, a lot of B-roll, and also fast cuts just to keep people's attention.
These are great. So in terms of
You have
tips
to,
there- Yes. Oh, well, in terms of a quick summary for that, having a B-roll, taking videos of everything, super, super helpful. Also, again, having really good lighting. Don't necessarily need to have the fanciest camera or even any expensive tools for video editing, because it'll come with a nice lighting. Another question for you all, for you both actually, is do you prefer photos or reels?
I love both, but I do prefer reels because I can have more fun with them. I add the music, you can do the trending sort of things that are going on where it looks like the cat's talking. You can have fun with them. But I also I take like a billion photos. You should see my phone. Actually, my partner, I was complaining my phone wasn't working properly, and my partner went and looked, and I have 43,000 videos on my phone right now. So that'll tell you that I obviously like taking videos maybe a little bit more and posting reels.
The same way, my entire camera roll, like 20 something thousand photos and videos of my cat. I also prefer reels, just because like I love making videos. That's like my thing. And also, like Chelsea was saying earlier, you can make TikToks and turn that into reels. Just get rid of the watermark, and there are sites for that. I think that's helpful because I heard that Instagram will not push it out if they see that like watermark, because they're trying to compete with TikTok. And I have noticed that if there's no watermark, reels get pushed out a lot more than photos do, and like normal posts.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So I have another follow-up question here when it comes to reels. Can you folks explain again how you pick the trending songs? How do you know something is trending, and how do you know to use that song?
It's super easy because they will tell you. When you go to make it, it'll say recommended songs. I guess it's not so much on Instagram, but there are, when you go to choose a song for your video, there's a list there. If you pick from that list, you're more likely to be bumped up, to be seen by everyone.
Yeah, I pick my trending sounds like on TikTok. And if you go to the explore page on TikTok, it'll come up with a bunch of stuff that's trending. So I'll usually pick something from there.
Perfect. So are you, in terms of TikTok versus Instagram, do you find that being on TikTok and not just being on Instagram is actually helpful for your growth?
Yeah, I'd say that it's helpful to the growth for sure. Because, I've asked people before, I'm on Facebook too, but it's a much smaller following. And I've asked people like, where else do you follow us? And a lot of people it's, I just like Facebook. I just like Instagram. I just like TikTok. So yeah, I'd say it's very helpful to have all the channels because people have their favorites.
Yeah, it is definitely super helpful. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I think that TikTok is easier, honestly, to grow on than other platforms. I think that TikTok gives you like more of an opportunity. You don't have to have like a super big account, like small accounts. You can have like 0 followers and like have something blow up, you know, if you just use the right sound or you jump on the right trend at the right time. And so I think that's really helpful.
Perfect. So
can I say something quickly?
Yeah, for sure,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Really interesting that you say that, because I'm at the same time, like I found that TikTok was easier to grow like maybe 6 or so months ago. But it's not consistent, because with TikTok, not all of your followers won't necessarily see your video, right? Like it goes to a For You page if they kind of choose for it to go out there. Whereas I find with Instagram, like the amount of followers that you have are more likely to see. So you get more likes, you get more comments. So yeah, if I had to choose a favorite, it would probably be Instagram for that, but TikTok to be able to go like super viral.
Okay, great. So I know we probably have just a few minutes left. I have a really good question here. I love data from Melanie. Do you use any analytics tools to track your media interactions, your social media impressions, engagement, and how do you use it to grow?
The in-app ones on Instagram and TikTok are actually excellent. They're very accurate, and going back to working and collaborating with companies, those are the ones that they ask for as well. So I always do the screenshots of those analytics and send those way. There's Social Blade and whatnot as well that you can use. But yeah, I find the in-app ones the best.
Thanks, Chelsea.
I think it is pretty important to study analytics if you're trying to grow your account. It'll help you see, watch time and where like people are dropping off in the video, and how you can fix that. And it'll like really show you what resonates with your audience and what doesn't. And that if you see clearly like a certain type of video is doing really well on your account, TikTok basically tells you like double down on that and just make more of that.
Yeah, great. So many really good questions. I keep wanting, because you folks have such really great experiences and thoughts to share. With that said, do you find that posting at certain times changes with the engagement and actually increases engagement?
I do, definitely. If I post first thing in the morning, I'm from London, Ontario, Canada, so I'm in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. And if I post between like 8 a.m. to 12 noon, my posts do really well. And I've actually been testing this out over the last month. If I post anytime basically past noon until about, I'd say 6 p.m., my posts literally nosedive. But if I stay within a time frame, then my posts do really well.
Yeah, I'd say that I don't always like I don't follow the rules at all. But if I post around noon, yeah, like I'll look at the analytics and my popular time is around noon as well. If I post then, I will, yeah, it'll do much better, but I'm not always that organized. So.
For some reason, 10:30 a.m. is my time, but I don't always remember to post at that time. But it's okay, because I mean, the more you grow, at least more people are going to see your stuff anyway. And like, no matter what time you post, if you have followers from all around the world, like someone's going to see it, So I don't think it always matters, but sometimes it does. And then it always changes too. So it's good to experiment with posting at different times.
Yeah, I think actually my most viral video on Instagram, it has like 8.7 million views. And that was posted, yeah, and it was posted like at some random time. I was like, I'm just going to post this like late in the afternoon. So, there's the rules, but you don't have to